On this week's show, meet the married couple that's helping Liberty Tennis find success, and we sit down with Hall of Fame coach Tony Dungy.
Plus, hear why Liberty has been the perfect fit for transfer Aidan Sweatt and see if he could lead his Flames to a top 25 win. You're watching Flame Central.
It's that time of the week again. Time to get caught up on what's happening around Liberty Athletics. This is, of course, Flame Central. Alongside Emily Austin, I'm Matt Warner.
As usual, some great stories to bring you today, but we start in the baseball diamond with your conference-leading Liberty Flames.
That's right. Liberty off to a 7-2 start in Conference USA, but they're looking to take that next step and start winning in the midweek. The challenge this time around, number 16 Virginia Tech. And at least early on, the Flames looked up for the challenge. Runners on second and third inning when Braden Horton comes through, just serving one the other way. That would chase home both McClellan and Kepley. Liberty jumping out in front 2-0. Oh, by the way, that's Horton's 10-game hitting streak now, the longest of the season for a Flame. The lead wouldn't last long, however. The Hokies answered with 4 in the bottom of the third. They would hold that 4-2 lead until Horton striking again in the 7th.
Woo!
A double this time. It would chase home a run, made it 4-3. Horton didn't quite have the wheels to turn it into a triple. Flames down just 1. But then in the bottom of the 7th, things came apart. Flames pitchers issued 14 walks on the night, 9 of them coming in the 7th inning, as Virginia Tech would score 8 times in the frame. And that would do it. All those free passes burn Liberty as they fall by the final of 13-3.
Well, one of my favorite parts of this job, aside working with Matt Warner, is hearing about how athletes found their way to Liberty. It's the focus of a segment we call Why Liberty? And today we hear from transfer second baseman Aidan Sweatt.
My name is Aidan Sweatt. I am from Fernandina Beach, Florida. I transferred to Liberty from University of North Florida in Jacksonville. I didn't really tell anybody that I was going to enter the transfer portal. I was just praying a lot about what I should do, if I should stay home or if I should try something new for my last year. And it was just a couple weeks of just talking to God about it, and I came to Liberty and I loved it here. I loved the coaches, I loved the campus, and I just knew it was such an awesome place. And so when I came on a visit, just walking around and meeting all the people, meeting some of the players, I just knew that this was a place for me.
Our bodies are ready to go on Sunday.
Coach Jackson has been amazing for me. He brought me in, he's given me the opportunity to play. He kind of plugged me right in there and just kind of has taught me a lot about not only about baseball, but about life. I think he's a great leader. The way he leads is a lot different than what I've been used to and what I've been involved with the past couple years, and I love it. He stays focused every single day, and I think that's a little bit what I needed because I was trying to get out of my comfort zone by coming here, and he just brings an intensity every day that makes you want to get better.
All 9 innings, kick some booty.
Liberty's done a lot for my faith. I think it just boils down to being around a lot of great people. Surround yourself with the right people and good things happen. And that's what goes on here. Coach Jackson always talks about that's an important thing to do, is just be around each other as much as you can, because you only get so much of that time. And so it's done a lot for me. It's brought me a lot closer to God, and it's been great. It's a great place to be, not only for baseball, but for school, for your faith. The campus is beautiful. For baseball-wise, the facilities they match up best in the country with anybody else. The coaches are great. Teammates are even better. It's just a great place to be.
Well, much like Aidan Sweatt and the Liberty baseball team, Liberty softball is also sitting atop Conference USA. And like the baseball program, Lady Flames also haven't quite been able to get over the hump consistently against midweek ACC opponents. Liberty facing number 24 Virginia this week, a team that narrowly defeated them earlier this season. The story of this ball game, well, it would be pitching and defense. Second inning, check out Rachel Crane with a fantastic grab in foul territory. How about it? The throw, not in time to get the tagging runner, but a great play for Crane nonetheless. The game's still scoreless in the third. This time, KK Madry flashing the leather. Flames left fielder taking away a hit, one of the better defensive outfielders in Conference USA. This game scoreless until the 5th inning, and that's when Sierra Kirsten would ground out, bringing Madry home. 1-0, Liberty goes on top, and that's all freshman pitcher Katie Love would need in this one. She was dealing. A complete game shutout for the right-hander. Liberty picks up its 3rd win over a top 25 foe this season. Let's go!
Well, anyway, Liberty softball has had 2 freshman pitchers step into starring roles this season. You just saw Matt Warner act a fool and Katie Love shut down UVA, while her fellow freshman Kaylan Yoder has been equally as dominant. This week, we had Kaylan on the Flame Central podcast, powered by Alcova Mortgage, to talk about the season and, more importantly, talk about how intimidating she is when she's in the circle.
When you step in the circle, is it kind of one of those, like, it's like Superman getting in the phone booth? You come out and it's just different.
Yeah, I feel like I have a little bit of alter ego that comes out.
Oh, really?
There is.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what we like.
I don't know. I just go out there and act like I own it. I run it. Like, this is what I do.
If you had to give your alter ego a character name, who is it most like?
Probably K-Swag.
K-Swag. Oh,
K-Swag.
I like that.
I have a lot of fun, like, before the game, like, anything, but I just lock in. Like, it's just totally different mode when I get in the game.
Hey, to hear our entire interview with Kaylan, check out the Flame Central podcast, powered by Alcova Mortgage. We release a new episode every Monday. If you like Liberty Athletics, if you like interviews, and if you like fun, you are going to love this podcast. Listen wherever you get your podcasts, or you can watch it on the Liberty Flames YouTube channel.
Well, as we've told you in recent weeks, both the Liberty men's and women's tennis programs have experienced great success this season. 2 of the reasons happen to live under one roof. Husband and wife, Kyle and Jessica Seelig, joined the men's and women's coaching staffs prior to this season, and with them comes a valuable perspective and a faith forged through adversity.
Yeah, for us, I think a typical morning would be coming into the office around 8 o'clock.
We only have 1 car, so it's perfect. We're going to the same place, and then having the same practice times with the men's and the women's team is really convenient for us.
Kyle and Jessica Seelig have devoted countless hours to the sport of tennis. And through the game, they've found community, a career, and even a spouse.
I started out my college career playing at the University of Southern California, and I decided to transfer my sophomore year, and I went on a visit to Ohio State University. And when I was there, I asked one of the girls showing me around on my visit, hey, are there any Christian groups here? And she told me, well, I know this guy in the men's tennis team. He knows everything about God. My first impression of Kyle was that he definitely did not know everything about God, but that he was a great Christian guy. And we just started like texting, kind of just started like a long distance relationship after that trip.
While Kyle and Jessica continued dating, they each finished successful collegiate tennis careers and began playing professionally. With their lives already deeply intertwined, Kyle and Jessica got married and traveled the world together, playing the sport they love.
Really, our whole relationship, tennis, has been awesome. College and then 2 years of playing pro tennis, we've really just been going through the same things together. Probably one of the best trips of my life. We went to Australia for 3 months straight and played 3 months of tennis tournaments together in Australia, and have that sense of yeah, we're on the road, but we're married, and it still feels somewhat like we're at home because we're together. You all right? Sure. What's wrong?
Sorry. I was just thinking like how we had no idea that was going to be your last trip because of your wrist.
What? Oh,
it was
yeah.
such a special time. Like we thought it was just the beginning of your pro career, and it was your last big trip because you hurt your wrist.
From years of playing tennis, Kyle's wrist had considerable damage. He tried playing through the severe pain, but eventually was forced to stop. Before getting injured, Kyle ranked in the top 350 players in the world and was starting to build momentum in his pro career.
That was kind of my shot to maybe push to have a chance to play in qualies of a Grand Slam, or just like a goal that you would always dream of as a kid. Just very disappointed with the way that things turned out in life during that time. I went from traveling the world, being married to Jess and playing tennis tournaments to going to doctors and living at home with my parents, and a lot of big changes that I was not expecting, but it was God really moving in our lives to get us here.
While Kyle was rehabbing, an assistant coaching position would open at Liberty University. Head coach Derek Schwantz felt that Kyle was the perfect fit for the job.
He's a man of God. He's a devoted follower of Jesus, very open with his faith, and he's also an extremely great competitor at the highest level. Really felt like God put it on my heart that Kyle's the man for the job.
I'd say selfishly I wanted to continue playing tennis, but God kind of softened my heart in that time in my life to say, yes, like this is where you're supposed to go. And at the end of the day, I just wanted to say yes to what God had for me.
Kyle accepted the position, and while Jessica continues to play professionally, she has also stepped into a volunteer coaching position for the women's team.
This is just such a perfect situation for me because I'm still able to pursue my dreams playing professionally, but also able to pour into some of the girls here and help them out, and also able to train and practice myself.
Kyle and Jessica proven that they can play tennis, so the respect factor is there amongst our players. They look at Jessica, they look at Kyle, and they say, wow, they've been there and they've done that. And so that respect factor really allows them to speak with authority. And our girls listen, the guys listen to Kyle, and so yeah, they're the best we could possibly ask for.
Yeah, it's still really hard to talk about, but seeing that God has used these hard times with Kyle's wrist to bring us here to Liberty, to be in this great Christian environment, I really see him leading and guiding us.
You know, I think I've always thought I'd enjoy coaching, but I think it's been more enjoyable than I thought it would be. I think one thing that I wish and pray for our guys is that they don't take this environment that they're in for granted. There's not too many places in the world that you could say are quite like here.
Coming up, we sit down for an exclusive interview with Hall of Fame coach Tony Dungy during his recent visit to Liberty.
Plus, Brett McGibbon joins the show to share his top LU athletes of the week. It's Warm, Hot, and Fuego when Flame Central returns.
You might have heard some things about Liberty University, like how we're just a little Christian school in the middle of nowhere. And there's nothing to do here. I mean, come on. You know us. Boring.
Boring?
Yeah. They say we don't work as hard, think as hard, try as hard.
I object.
The truth is, well, we might surprise you.
A college degree is more than a diploma. It's taking control of your future and finding that next step. At Liberty University, we not only care about your career, we also care about your calling, and we want to help you learn, develop, and grow so you can make an impact as a champion for Christ. Over 600 online programs, one you, infinite possibilities. Being a parent and helping your kids through school, it's not exactly easy. I mean, there's waking up at 5 a.m., the morning routine, helping with homework, sitting in traffic. You get it. What if there was a way you could get your kids a quality Christian education where they can work at any pace, any time, from anywhere? School that works for your schedule and frees your kids to keep doing what they love. Well, that's exactly what we do. LUOA, school that goes where you do.
Welcome back to the show. Here at Liberty University, we have the privilege of hosting many high-profile guests who come to campus to speak to the student body. And when they happen to have a tie-in with sports, well, they sit down with us here at Flame Central. This past week, Hall of Fame coach and current NBC broadcaster Tony Dungy paid us a visit to talk about faith, football, and what motivates him today.
Well, Coach, thanks so much for making time for us and coming to visit us here at Liberty. In your career, I feel like you've done a great job of football has been your career path. It hasn't been your life. It hasn't been your identity. A lot of people fall into that trap. How have you managed to avoid that?
Well, I was really blessed, I think, by the way I was raised. My parents, first of all, and then having understanding that God has a lot of things for you, and your career is part of it, but it's not the whole thing. My coach, Chuck Noll, with the Steelers, kind of modeled that for us, lived it out. We won a bunch of Super Bowls, but he was able to maintain his family life and his community life, and that was a great model for me. He never, ever once did I ever hear him refer to himself as Coach Noll. He always said Chuck, and I didn't understand that. And it was even hard for me because I'm used to, I got to call my coach, Coach. But in his mind, he didn't want to be identified as the coach. He wanted to be identified as who he was as a person. And when I started coaching, that resonated with me. I see why he did that now.
Did you always know coaching was going to be the path for you? And did you think you could ever have the kind of impact in and outside of the game that you've had because of your coaching career?
No, it was totally a surprise to me. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do in life. I was a business administration major in college, and my parents were teachers. I really didn't know. He called me and said, hey, you have an aptitude for this. You are a good communicator. I think you'd have a future in coaching. It never really occurred to me, but when he said it, I said, let me give it a try. I think I would like it, and I did. I enjoyed it, and the Lord gave me a great platform with it, but I never dreamed that I would be an NFL head coach, that I would have as many players that play for me, many staff people going on and moving on, doing good things. It's been just a surprise.
When people think of you, I think they think of servant leader as kind of your leadership style. That seems so foreign to what you expect from a football coach. Did you have a lot of people be like, man, you're different? Like players, other guys on your staff, did you get that reaction?
I did. I think my players enjoyed it. I had a great rapport with my players when I was an assistant coach. As I moved up the ladder and had a chance to become a head coach, people were telling me, this isn't going to work. You're going to have to change. You're going to have to be different. You got to be tougher. You got to show them you're the boss. And I just never bought into that because I did feel that that biblical model of being a leader that was there to help people, that's what I was all about. I kept that as my MO. Some people didn't like it, but it served me well.
Yeah, I think it worked out just fine. I had a coach say one time that the world listens to winners. And like for a Christian athlete, you should try to be excellent because it gives you a bigger platform to share Christ. Do you buy into that? And have you seen that in your own life?
I absolutely do. When I was with the Steelers, a young Christian growing in my faith, our chaplain went over what Paul said in 1 Corinthians 9, and it's an awesome verse. He says, everybody runs, but only one first prize, so run to win. And that struck me, that God does expect us to be excellent. He does want us to be the best and put everything into it. But then the next verse says, those prizes will fade away. Make sure you're running to win the right race, that race for eternal glory. And that's what I kind of felt. If we win and people gravitate to winners, now you're going to get to explain, well, this is what God is all about. And you can see it in my life. And that was my motivation. I wanted to show people, especially towards the end of my career, you can be excellent. I can be the best in the National Football League, but still do it the Lord's way and still honor God.
Yeah, you had the chance to speak to thousands of Liberty students today. What was the message that you hope to deliver to them?
It was just that. Are you going to chase after success in the world's eye and what people will tell you success is, or are you going to chase significance in God's world? Are you going to put God's kingdom first? And I just encourage them, put the Lord first. Get that long-term significance, and the success will come.
Last thing for me, Coach, players stop playing, coaches stop coaching, but that competitive fire, that doesn't just go away. What fires you up now? What energizes you now at this stage of your life that keeps you passionate?
I do still have that and that's one of the things you do miss when you retire from either the playing field or the coaching field. Where am I going to get that where I can really get a group of people together and we're chasing one goal and we're either going to get there or we're going to have to come back next week and work a little harder. So I miss that, but I do still, whatever you do, try to be the best you can be. We try to be the best pregame show on television now. We want to have the best broadcast. But even more than that, I want to represent the Lord well. I want to take every opportunity that I've got to point people to Christ. And so that's my competitive juices right now.
Well, Coach, it's been an honor to talk to you. You're a great inspiration for so many of us. We thank you for spending some time with us today.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks for having me. And it's been awesome to be here at Liberty. I can tell you this, great atmosphere, great hospitality, and look forward to coming back.
It was great to catch up with Coach Dungy, as good a guy as you would expect. Great. Speaking of good guys, Rhett McGibbon is here. Warm, hot, and fuego. Top player moment from the past week in Liberty Athletics. Rhett, give it to us. What do you got this week? Let's start with Warm.
A lot of home runs this past week, right? And I kind of got thinking, all right, like, how does that rack up with coaches and their home runs? So I was thinking, all right, softball. My moment is Haley Dieter, her 3-run bomb in Game 2 against Western Kentucky. But then I was like, I wonder how many home runs Dot hit during her time at UCLA.
Yeah.
2.
Yeah. That was just spraying the ball all over.
She was. That was purely contact hitter, always hitting like kind of in that 350 to 400 range.
Pre-steroid era.
Yeah. That's hilarious. But Haley Dieter, I was looking at her conference numbers, right? Just solely in conference play and CUSA, hitting 344, 11 RBI, 4 doubles, 3 home runs, and that 3-run shot you're seeing right now against Western Kentucky, I feel like that changed the complex of the whole series because on Friday, the pitcher just owned Liberty. She did a great job. You come into the next game, Game 2, the pitcher again was rolling. All of a sudden, finally Dieter gets some power on that ball, 3-run shot. Liberty goes up 3-1 and would eventually rule that game. But that was a pivotal moment because I don't think if she got that hit, everybody's feeling down. You know, that was a big surge for them.
Dieter, a very talented athlete. You may see more on her in the near future on Flame Central. All right, from Warm, we go to Hot.
All right, we go to baseball now. Scott Jackson, want to guess how many home runs?
I'm guessing he wasn't a big power guy either.
No, 4 home runs during his career as well. And then you look at Braden Horton. This guy here lately in conference play, absolutely insane. Here's the numbers, all right? He had 2 solo shots in the middle game against New Mexico State. Great to see. Over the course of Conference USA play as well, hitting .536. Absolutely incredible. 7 home runs, 14 RBI in 9 games. The guy is 7 home runs in 9 games in Conference USA play. He likes that Conference USA pitching. We'll just put it that way. It has been good for him.
Good to have him back and fully healthy, which was a struggle early in the season. All right, finally, Rhett, who's better than that?
Okay, I was thinking like, okay, I'm looking at these numbers. Who all-time is the all-time leader in NCAA baseball for home runs? An old guy named Pete Incaviglia.
Hit
a home 100.
He played in the big
friend of yours.
Yeah, good old Pete.
100 home runs in his career. Almost hit a home run every other game. I think that's just nuts. Brian McClellan, not quite on that same page.
Not quite Pete level.
Grand slam. Gotta love it. Anytime that you can clear the bases, and I know you're up by 5, but this is a great moment. You love it. It's just absolutely huge. And for him, that's kind of been up and down perhaps a little bit this year. A huge confidence booster. He's as well as hitting .346 in conference play. So these guys, they like their conference play.
They are playing well in CUSA play. Right? Great job as always. Thanks. Still to come, another big win for one Liberty student. We'll give you the details when Flame Central returns.
Welcome to Liberty University's online programs, where living out your calling with integrity is what you train to do. And getting ready for the future doesn't mean missing out on the now. Because a university is more than buildings and books, and an education should set you free, not fence you in. Welcome to Liberty's global campus, where distance learning was pioneered and evolved into one of the top-ranked schools in the nation. Where protecting your budget, your time, and your education isn't just a theory, it's our priority. Here, degrees in your field reflect industry demands and help you get ahead of the competition. Where college comes to you, but you can come to college too. Game day, homecoming, graduation day. Your school, your values, your experience, your choice. Welcome to Liberty University, where we train champions for Christ.
So you're looking for a university that's perfect for you, a school that has anything you could possibly need.
Anything?
You want a place that has the programs you want to study, and maybe a few more, just in case you change your mind.
I think I'm going to sign up for the fashion design program.
All right. A place with state-of-the-art facilities. I mean, look at this campus.
And who doesn't love big-time sports?
And great recreational activities.
Okay, now we're on a roll. Somewhere you can hike, slide, strike, shoot, climb, eat, and most importantly, eat. You want a place that takes you to space? Okay, maybe not, but we can teach you how to fly, or pastor a church, or run a business. And all that with a great view? Yeah, I think I know a place.
Challenges, they're nothing new. At Liberty, we know they make you stronger, force you to learn, adapt, to overcome. When your next challenge comes, be ready. Meet it with a degree that propels you forward. We've helped champions like you succeed for 35 years and counting. And now, over 100,000 students are getting stronger every day. At Liberty University, challenges make champions. Let's overcome together.
William Byron's gonna win! William Byron wins it at Atlanta. Hugs that white line, drifts up and comes to the line. He wins it.
Hey, welcome back to the show. You know, it's not every college that has a NASCAR superstar as a current student, but then again, Liberty isn't every college.
Yeah, and for the third time this season, William Byron found himself in victory lane. Byron led for the final 73 laps at Martinsville Speedway this past weekend as he took home the checkered flag. The 3 wins this season are the most in the Cup Series as this Liberty student and Liberty-sponsored driver, Matt, continues to prove he's one of the best in the sport.
He certainly is. What a career he's having here, a young career still. All right, hey, we got to finish up here. We got things to do, but want to remind you, LibertyFlamesCentral.com, our new website. Check it out for any stories you might have missed.
And I've missed the last few podcasts, but I will be back this Monday, so it'll probably be one of the highest rated.
Yeah.
Flame Central podcast, powered by
Check it
Alcova
out.
Mortgage. Download and subscribe. For Matt, I'm Emily. We'll see you right back here next week.